If you're a band director, you already know this moment. The chart is solid, the horns are locked in, the groove is there, then you hit the solo section and the notes disappear for your pianist. And your pianist survives. They're reading, they're counting, they're trying really hard, but they're not igniting the rhythm section like they could. It's not a rhythm problem, it's not a listening problem, it's not a creativity problem, it's not even a practice problem. It's a hand installation problem. Every pianist who does not have a jazz voicing installed in their hands is living with an invisible weight of doubt. They know that they don't know. They're never fully certain that they're ever playing the right thing, and that uncertainty kills momentum. When a pianist knows exactly where to put their hands and those voicings are album-ready jazz voicings, everything changes. They're confident, they're interacting, the rhythm section locks in, but none of that happens until the hands are installed. And musical ideas, patterns, and shapes don't get installed without an installation system. Now, I want to clarify what this system is not. It's not a musical theory system. It's not even a jazz theory system. It's not a jazz piano system. This is a spatial pattern recognition system. It's physical. It's biomechanical, meaning it connects the brain and the body, and we learn through contact and movement. I call it keyboard spatial pattern recognition. This is your weapon of mass instruction, and it is so fundamental that it does not care what you point it at. Today, we're going to point it at the 5-note, two-handed, rootless jazz chords that we love to hear and that every jazz pianist uses to sound absolutely amazing in their rhythm section behind the soloist when they're reading chord symbols. Now, I personally use this and I train it in 3 levels. And today, I want to show you the most powerful level.
Level 1.
Right now, most programs don't have levels. Most programs don't have a system. Sometimes arrangers write beautiful jazz voicings into the score, but the pianist doesn't recognize that those voicings are being handed to them from a system. They think they're just reading more notes. So it feels random, right? Sometimes those voicings are written in whole notes with slashes, no rhythm, but there's no installed framework. The only real training path we have is find an expert, bring them in, hope something sticks, or send the student to a jazz teacher, a piano teacher. And now you're not solving comping behind the soloist when the notes disappear looking at chord symbols. You're sending them down the road of learn jazz piano, an undefined task. So what happens? We compensate. The director compensates, the pianist compensates, and even the arrangers compensate. And the solo section really never takes off. Here's the solution. Think of this system like the belt system in martial arts. White belt, brown belt, black belt. Same movements, same skills, but different levels of mastery. Level 1, level 2, level 3. But here's the key. If level 1 is installed properly, it is sufficient to transform a rhythm section. Level 1 is fundamentals. It's catching and throwing for baseball. White belt repetition for martial arts. Core hand positions for jazz hands training. And most people skip it. And it's because they don't know there's a system, so it's their only option. They chase complexity before installing fundamentals, especially if they don't know that fundamentals exist. So, let me show you level 1. Okay, level 1 is a journey through the chord families in one root, like C. Okay? And what I mean by a journey is it's the journey. It sets up level 2 and level 3. Okay? So for example, C, we've got our major, minor, diminished, dominant, and then our altered dominant. Okay? And that's interesting, isn't it? Then it resolves a fourth away. C builds tension and then resolves to F, and it sounds like this. Major, minor, diminished, that's the weirdo, and dominant, altered dominant, and resolve a fourth away. Okay? So it has its own physical logic baked right in. So while the student is installing these hand positions, they're also installing harmonic function, tension, release, 5 to 1, right? Or 5, altered 5, right? To 1. They are physically rehearsing the most exciting motion in jazz, okay? And here's the twist. Every one of these positions has a flip. It's the inverted exercise. It's got its own similar logic. It's got a different anchor. It's got a different top note. Now, listen. It sounds like this. Major, minor, diminished, dominant, altered, and a fourth away, resolve. What does that mean? It means that this is not mechanical, right? You can hear it. You can remember it. That melodic top line tells you which side of the coin you're on, right? This guy, right? The top line of our chords plays like a melody. I mean in music, not just in our exercise. Was that right? And then the same thing here. That's what our inverted exercise sounds like. So it's no added complexity. We're still using shapes in each hand. Just installed options, right? So now here's what that gives you. So now you have 2 major chord positions. Home position, inverted position, right? Home, inverted, home, inverted. Look what that does. 2 minor positions, minor, home, inverted, home, inverted, right? Now we have places to go on the keyboard. We even have 2 diminished positions. We got this guy and this one. Okay? Now in reality, because of the way diminished works, and we know this through theory, that we actually have 4 positions. But we're not going to get into that. That's a music theory lesson. So 2 dominant positions, right? Home, inverted. So these aren't guesses. They're not theory calculations. They're installed shapes. Okay, now I want to play a simple chord progression using level 1 album-ready jazz chords in root or home and inverted positions. So let's check this out. Okay, I'm going to use iReal Pro to do it. I love iReal Pro. I love iReal Pro. Everything you just heard, level 1. Now, you heard some advanced substitutions, right? But I wasn't thinking of advanced substitutions. I was thinking of a hand move. You heard some reharmonization, but I wasn't thinking reharmonization. I was thinking a hand shape and a choreography. And none of this was from level 2, and none of this was from level 3. So these are just installed hand positions.
And that's why level 1 is gold. This is the 80-20. If your pianist can read charts but cannot automatically form album-ready jazz chords when the notes disappear while looking at chord symbols, nothing above that layer takes hold. Rhythm, interaction, sensitivity, creative comping, there's no mind space for that while they're searching for their chord voicings. But once the hands are installed, All of that is waiting on the other side. That's the unlock. If you're a director and you know that level 1 is not deliberately installed in your pianist's hands, type level 1 in the comments below. That tells me you're serious about fixing this layer. Or skip the comments altogether and book a call directly. I run a structured cohort that installs level 1 properly. Not more theory, installation. Let's reframe what we believe it actually takes to be able to play these chords. Because once level 1 is wired, everything else becomes refinement. And that's the work.